Good afternoon to everyone, and good morning to people in Canada and the US. Sleep is essential at any age. Sleep powers the mind, restores the body, fortifies virtually every system in the body. National Sleep Foundation guidelines advise that healthy adults need between 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Lack of sleep has a lot of consequences, and our speaker today, Awasthi, will be talking about sleep. Welcome to Umesh Shah Presents Sunday Life and Learn Talks. Our speaker today is Deeksha Awasthi, and she'll be talking about sleep and its relation to mental health. Deeksha is Global Mental Health Ambassador and Global Impact Ambassador. Deeksha is a clinical genomics scientist and Akashic Records reader. She founded Deeksha Life, a platform where she is exploring the limitless power of mind and body. Her quest involves decoding energies to learn and experience mindfulness and soulful living. Without taking any more time, Deeksha, over to you.
Thank you so much. And I welcome each one of you here today who has made sleep and mental health priority, which is one of the most important things after pandemic. We all have faced a lot of mental health issues and a lot of sleep disorders. So here today we decided, as May is Mental Health Awareness Month, we decided that we should touch base on sleep, which is one of the most important aspect of mental health. Thank you so much, everyone. And I would like to share the screen for the presentation, Umesh. Shall I do that now?
Yes, Deeksha.
Okay. Yeah, visible to all, right? So, yes. Yeah. So first thing which we all understand is that there's a bi-directional relationship between mental health and sleep. That means if your sleep is disturbed, your mental health will suffer. If your mental health is disturbed, your sleep will suffer. And it's a downward spiral. We all have experienced that. It's a downward spiral, and we don't know how to stop, where to stop in this scenario. And that is why we end up having a lot of issues. Here in this particular session, we will be only talking aspects of sleep and mental health, because sleep is very vast and it impacts, as we go further, we'll see how it impacts all body organs, all body parts. And the repercussions of lack of sleep is much beyond the scope of this conversation. So anything, if you have in your mind, which you would like to ask regarding sleep and any other disorder, feel free to write me. I will be available on Deeksha Live platform. The links will be available during the presentation as well. So feel free to come to our website and ask questions. I'll be very happy to answer. And this whole presentation, which I have created, is part of the framework which we have developed at Center of Learning, where we are exploring different sides of mindfulness and different impacts of mental health on different things. So you can access more information on our website, which I would heavily recommend all of you to please visit. And you can download this slideshow as well there, because there will be a lot of data in this slideshow, which each slide will have a lot of information. You might want to chew on it a little later as well. And just afterwards, if you want to ask some questions or something comes to your mind, feel free to write to us. We'll be very happy to answer and assist in whatever ways we can. So as we know that poor sleep is already recognized as a risk factor for developing many mental health issues. Recent studies, because I cannot cover all studies, recent studies says that there was a longitudinal study done in Michigan, 979 young adults were found, there was an association between insomnia and depression 3 years later. So people who were having insomnia had 4-fold risk of developing depression 3 years later. So this is another study indicates that insomnia is linked with risk of suicide, bipolar disorder, and anxiety disorders. So that is again something which is very important to notice here, that it is not associated only for one or two things. Many other things are associated with insomnia. And in 2020, recently, a study published in JAMA Psychiatry Trust Source identified association between sleep problems in early childhood and development of psychosis and borderline personality disorders in adolescence. That is again alarm, that if children are having difficulty in sleeping during their early childhood times, there is no reason, because they don't have that kind of a stress or anxiety. But if at all there is a childhood sleep problems, then it will develop, or it may develop over the period of time, into depression or psychosis later. And it is not restricted to mental health only. So lack of sleep has impact on respiratory, digestive tract, cardiovascular, endocrine, immune systems, everything. One of the most recent studies shows that there's a correlation between insomnia and cancer. And results demonstrate that 24% overall increased risk of cancer in individuals with insomnia in comparison to those who did not have. And as a result, WHO has declared sleep deprivation carcinogenic. So you know how severe it is and why it is important for us to do all that we need to do to ensure that we sleep well. And we know that it's a vicious cycle. So when you have worry, you have lack of sleep, you're tired, you're having difficulty in coping, and then you will have low self-esteem, you will again go in that vicious cycle. Loop after loop you will go, unless and until you understand that time has come to break it. My question was, I was contemplating on this, why nature has not created a defense mechanism, because as a clinical genomic scientist, I know that nature has created defense mechanism against everything. All diseases which we have, there is a defense mechanism, there is a coping mechanism, but against sleep deprivation, there is no such defense mechanism, because actually evolutionarily, if you think, nature never thought that there will be any reason for sleep deprivation. It supported sleep through various cycles, through how the sleep happened. Let's go a little deeper into that. But sleep is not just resting. We all think that we were sleeping for 8 hours and still we're feeling tired. We actually sleep for 8 hours, but it's not that you're sleeping for 8 hours. What happens exactly is that you actually have to have a good restorative sleep. It is divided into 4 stages. It is more than what you know. It is at stage 1, the sleep is very lightest. Our heartbeat slows down, our breathing slows down, eye movement slows down, muscles relax, and brain waves also slow down. Then at stage 2, our heartbeat and breathing even more slows down. Everything else even more slows down. It's like next 10-15 minutes, 10 to 25 minutes, you're even slowing down. And then comes the stage 3, which is very important. At this stage, your heartbeat and your breathing goes to lowest. It is near to like pause kind of a breathing happens. Your muscle relax even more. Your brain waves goes even slow. This is a deep sleep state. This is very, very important for your mental health. Apart from body, it is very important for your mental health. And at stage 4, what happens? This is called REM stage. REM means rapid eye movement. You must have seen children sleeping or us also sleeping while our eyelids are closed and eyes inside are moving very fast. That is the dream state. That is when we are dreaming. That is when our breathing speeds up. That is when our heart rate speeds up. And that is when our blood pressure also increases. And one of the most important aspect happens that we undergo sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis means your whole body gets paralyzed during sleep and you're not able to move. And that is the reason why we don't walk or hit people during sleep. But those people who sleep shallow, they actually hit, or they might hit people, or might also walk during sleep when they don't have this sleep paralysis in place. So these 4 stages, we continue to go from stage 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and then again stage 1, 2, 3, 4. And you must have seen while in your deep sleep, deep dreaming state, when you wake up suddenly in the night, you must have experienced palpitation, must have experienced breathing, and lot of anxiety in your system, because that is the stage that is where the REM takes you to. But in a normal daily night, usual night, you have multiple rounds of it. At least 4 rounds of this pattern goes on. And it is very, very important for us to go into 3 and 4 stage. That only happens when we are calm, when we are relaxed, when we are not under sedation, any kind of sedation. So many a times we think that we have alcohol and we sleep well, but actually alcohol interferes with your deep sleep patterns, especially. So alcohol is not, it looks like that it helps you fall asleep better, but in a longer term, it does not do any good to your body. So what all role happens during stage 3 and 4 is what I'm going to cover, because these are very important activities which happen inside your brain. So there's a lot of repair happening in your body, like all organ systems we discussed, but there's much more is happening in your brain, which is very important for your mental health. And I have handpicked some 5 most important activities, and I would like to share those with you. First one is housekeeping role of brain. Second one is assisting the problem solving ability, then emotional first aid, forming and integrating new memories, and subconscious sorting. Each one is very important. So housekeeping, what happens during housekeeping in the brain? During slow wave sleep, which is stage 3. The studies have indicated that brain cells expand as much as 60%. It's like creating space for cerebrospinal fluid to go through it, to flush all the toxins which we have generated during the waking hours. This plumbing system is called lymphatic system, and this actually clears your brain. Among all toxins, beta amyloid, which actually builds plaque in your brain, this is also associated with cognitive impairment leading to dementia and Alzheimer's. This also gets cleared up during the process. And this is also, this beta amyloid is associated with cell death of brain, leading to gradual degeneration of some parts of brain cortex. And that is why those who are not able to get deep sleep have higher chances of developing dementia and Alzheimer's during the later phases of their life. Second one is problem solving ability. So you must have heard this phrase, sleep on it. When you have a problem, sleep on it, you will find solution. Why? Because your brain processes at a REM stage. Then this happens, this problem solving happens at a REM stage. That is why stage 3 and 4 are important. At stage 4, your brain goes in a different state. That is where it actually can sort your problems. It can actually bring all conscious, unconscious, subconscious, all data together and actually integrate that information to find the solution. 2 classic examples of science are here. First one is structure of benzene. This is the structure of benzene. The Auguste Kekule was having difficulty in deciding whether the benzene is non-cyclical or cyclical. And this took him a lot of time, and it was this problem he was not able to solve. In his dream, he saw these molecules arranging themselves in a form of a snake, and the snake was biting its tail. That is how in the waking hours he understood, okay, so benzene structure is cyclical, and later he got Nobel Prize for this discovery as well. Another one is Mendeleev's periodic table. So we all know periodic table in chemistry. Mendeleev actually found all the elements, different elements, and he was trying to arrange and rearrange according to the pattern. He was trying to find pattern. Is there any pattern I can find? He was exhausted and he went to sleep. He was not able to find any pattern. And in his dream, these elements started to arrange themselves in a logical pattern of their atomic weight. And that is where the periodic table was born. So when you have a big problem which you're not able to solve, it is heavily recommended, go and sleep on it. You will find the solution, because, and that sleep has to be restorative. It's not 8 hours which matters. Restorative sleep, if you can manage, then you will have the answers. Then the emotional first aid. How does emotional first aid work? So again, REM offers at the stage 4, emotional first aid is offered. So it acts like a soothing nocturnal balm, which all the experiences during the waking hours, which you have, all difficulties, all trauma, all setbacks, anything which is created in your experience, it actually smoothens those sharp edges. And lack of REM sleep does just the opposite of it. So actually nature punishes you for not sleeping. There are many evidences that nature punishes you for not sleeping. One of those is you become very, very emotional. It's like your emotional accelerator is always on and your regulatory brake is not working at all, or maybe working very, very little. And that is that happens because your prefrontal cortex and amygdala goes in the imbalance. So we are not going into deeper details of how that happens, but this is what the repercussions are of lack of REM sleep. And you become unbuckled, I mean, in terms of emotional integrity and response. That is why when you're not slept well, you're very agitated, very annoyed. So you know now that if you are agitated, so you have to become little more aware of that particular emotional imbalance. Then forming and integrating new memories. So during daytime, whatever is happening during daytime, this memory starts memory is created in your brain. And when you sleep, it is integrated. Again, it is reactivated while you are sleeping, and then memory is stabilized in original form, and this solidification happens. Similarly, it integrates with back memory as well. So you heard some song, and that song you used to listen when you were in relationship with your ex. So that is why when that song plays, you actually think of this and it brings you back into memory lane. So that is how brain connects the memories into one after the other. And this again happens in your REM state. So that is why when you don't sleep well, you have memory loss. Because you're not able to form those memories, you're not able to solidify them, and you're not able to integrate them with the past experiences. And that is where you experience that memory loss. So these are the things which actually happen during the sleep. And nature has been supporting our biological clock. It is actually been very, very kind to us by giving us 4 major tools, I would say tools: light, temperature, smell, and sound. So as soon as sun sets, it all becomes dark, and our biological clock goes into sleep phase. And because sun has gone down, the temperature also comes down, and your body needs a lower temperature to sleep. The smell. So all this evening beautiful flowers, they blossom and give you nice smell. I'm talking about evolutionary point of view. I mean, from evolutionary point of view, this is what was happening. And the sound, because all animals were asleep, only nocturnal ones were up, creating a very pattern-based sound. All pattern-based sounds were there available in the night. That used to help you sleep better. But we became, we actually invented all that. Most important was light, which we invented. And light actually created a lot of activation in our brain. So we will go one by one on these each factors and see how these factors impact us and how we can use them in our favor. First one is light, as we discussed, and hyperactivity of brain. So when it comes to sleep, light is one of the most important external factor. So what happens is when during the daytime, our retina receives the sunlight, it processes it in a biological clock, which is circadian rhythm we have in our body, which is dark and light phase of sun, which is controlled by suprachiasmatic nucleus located in our hypothalamus. And it releases all the hormones, all chemicals required for waking up. While during the night, when there is no light on retina, melatonin is released from pineal gland. And this melatonin is released 2 hours before we sleep. So it's like preparation of sleep cycle. So that is how it is very important for us to stay away from bright lights during the night time, especially 2 hours before we sleep. Our phone, all gadgets have blue lights, and blue lights have been proven that have similar effect on our retina, just like sun has. So when we expose ourselves to blue light, we actually are telling our system to stay awake. We cannot sleep because our biological clock knows that still sun is there, so it will not trigger the sleep cycle. You must have seen, must have happened with you many times that you're not able to sleep and you're looking at your phone, scrolling, your eyes are tired and you go to sleep. Your eyes are tired and you crash, you don't go to sleep. Because if you go to sleep, there is a phased way. There are all 4 stages which we will cross. But in this case, when you're tired and you went to sleep, you will have 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and very less 3 and 4 stages. And that is where, when in the morning you will wake up, you will be agitated, you will be annoyed, you will not have rested sleep kind of a state of mind. Second one is temperature. So temperature drops 2 hours before we are preparing for sleep. And this coincides with our sleep hormone melatonin. And it keeps on falling till early morning. And as sun rises up, the temperature of our body again rises up through wake cycle. As the wake cycle kicks in, the temperature again rises up. So that is why we wake up early morning, we wake up many a time. So this is how thorough the nature was to ensure that we sleep properly. And our high body temperature, many a times people have this high body core temperature, and that is why they don't have this restorative slow wave sleep, which is stage 3 sleep. They don't get it. You might say that, no, my hands and legs are warm when I go to sleep. That's a good news, because body core temperature goes down. Through vasodilation, the body blood goes in your extremities, in your hands and legs, and that is why they become warm. And that is why your body temperature goes down, and then you go to sleep. Those who have difficulty, and especially during old age, the vasodilation is not that efficient, and you're not able to send that blood to extremities. The hands and legs are cold, and that is why old people have difficulty in sleeping well in the night, and they wake up many times often. Then comes the smell and emotional memory. So if you enter in any place, I'm sure you will have that, you might have experienced that aroma reminds you of some place, aroma reminds you of people, and that is how the memory is connected with smell, your emotional memory, that many a times you smell something and you get very irritated. You don't like that smell. Especially this happens during pregnancy and after pregnancy, that females get this very sensitive to smell, and then they're not, later also they don't like that, because that memory triggers for them. So smell is one of the most important, another factor, which is intrinsically connected with your body clock. And studies have shown that even in the case of PTSD, which has nightmares and significant sleeping patterns and significant sleeping disorders, they also have pleasant experiences when they sniff aroma. So you can use any aroma which you like, soothing aromas which you like, to calm yourself down, to help you to go to sleep. But use this as a therapy. Do not do it every day, because after your cycle is in place, then doing it is of no use, because then you will become habitual, and tomorrow if you have a difficulty in sleeping, this will not help you. So use this as a therapy. Second one, and the last one, is sound and its subconscious impact. So sound, another nature's beauty I wanted to share with you. When we sleep, our eyes are closed. You have seen how our body parts go in a shutdown mode or a slow down mode. Your ears are open, your ears are active, and evolutionary ears were kept active, so that if there is any danger, you are able to get up and save yourself. So that is now having a subconscious impact as well, because a lot of disturbances are there. You might want to try to sleep early, but your neighbor might not have that sleep hygiene and might be playing something very late night or something. It will disturb you. So what you can do is, and while you are sleeping, your subconscious is not sleeping, and subconscious is listening to all the sound, very, very carefully listening to all the sounds. So even though you might think that I am sleeping, I'm not listening, but you are actually listening. So that impact is there. So what you should do is, you should actually play some music which can help you during the sleep. There are a lot of music available, different kinds of. I would suggest find 1 or 2 curated music for yourself, what you like. And again, use it for a therapy purpose. Use it to train your brain. So you can actually, music is one of the things which can be used to train your brain for different various activities. You can use music to train yourself to sleep, or you can use music to train yourself to work, or go to meditation, or go to mindful state. different stages. I mean, the moment the music plays, your subconscious knows what to do now. That is how it trains itself. So you have to train, but you have to use it multiple times. Same music. It's not like tonight you listen to something else, tomorrow you listen to something else. While in that phase of exploration, you might want to do that. But after you fix two music pieces, then you don't change that and use that as a therapy when you want to sleep. That was the nature part. 4 things which nature supported and 4 things what we were supposed to do. Now is our binge watching and eating part. So what we do is during our weekends or other times when we are free, we actually watch binge watching series, movies, all that is happening. All of us are doing that. That is very, very dangerous for our sleep because we understood the light part of it. We understood the sound part of it. What happens is you get hungry as well in the night and you start to eat. So apart from eating and in the night, we mostly tend to eat junk food. So apart from the health repercussions of that junk food which you are eating, what you're doing is you are actually disturbing the gut microbiome. So your gut has whole ecosystem of its own, which actually has its own rhythm depending on the composition, localization, metabolic activities. When you eat in the night, these activities get heavily disturbed. And that is where it acts. And there's a very clear study which indicates that your gut and brain has a correlation. So when your gut is not happy, you feel mood swings. When your mood is not good, you will have stomach upset. And that is how it is correlated. And it heavily actually regulates our sleep as well. So if gut bacteria is not in good state of being, then your sleep will also be disturbed. So 10 hours fasting is essential for your gut-brain axis. It is very important that you do not eat. First thing is you should not be up in the night. If you have to, then try to not eat. And if you're eating, try to eat very light snack, like very, very light or maybe probiotic based something, so that it does not disturb your gut bacteria. These things are very important. And if you remember these things while doing everyday activities, I'm very sure you will be able to restore your sleep cycle. Last one is place of anxiety and bed. So what happens is when we don't get sleep, when we are anxious, when we have tomorrow early morning shift, we have to go to work and all those things going on in our head, we don't get that sleep. We get very anxious. And again, our brain gets trained with space as well. So if every day you're tossing on your bed, your brain will associate with it as a place of anxiety. Your brain will not be able to sleep there. You might try so many things, but you will not be able to sleep. So if you are not getting sleep, then recommendation is to get up and read some mild book. If you can, milder book, not at all to head to your phone or to your work, because then your brain gets triggered. Then brain is alert, and again it will delay your sleep. So if at all you got up, you just take a small walk, maybe just read some small book, very, very light book. I mean, while reading also, you have to be very careful of reading. You should not read something which triggers your any activity. I mean, in the brain, no activity should be triggered during 2 hours before sleep. So we can, actually, we saw that we can break this vicious cycle through our good sleep hygiene. Here is the recommendation which I have made. What we can follow. I mean, we can see during what suits best for us, but this is how nature operates. And if we can at least try to see the overlap in between, so then it will help us. So our body temperature is highest at 7 p.m., which starts to decrease 9 p.m. around. This is how nature has created the cycle. Around 9 p.m., the melatonin secretion starts. And this is the time when the body temperature will start to get lower down. And we will have body temperature will go lowest around 4:30 in the morning, and then again it will start rising up because the melatonin secretion stops, and that is when the body temperature will start to rise. So what you can do is you can, before 2 hours of sleep, you can limit your technology, start dimming the lights around you, put soothing music, and sniff calming aroma. That will help you. And that will give you a deep restorative sleep. And not to forget 10 hours of fasting. That is very, very important if you want to ensure your good sleep. I definitely believe that happiness lies in peace, not in pleasure. So we might have a lot of pleasure in watching movies in the night or going to a party in the night, but it might not bring us peace. So that we might be that is where we have a lot of, that is where I said it's a part of that framework which we have. Sleep is not independent, it's part of the framework, and you should come and explore other aspects as well, like how mindfulness will help you, how shavasana will help you, sleep meditation can help you. When you bring peace in your life, no, when you make peace your priority, happiness will come. You will be, your mental health will improve surely over the period of time. You might want to explore these activities, and definitely head on to our website and download these PPTs if you want. And thank you so much for your time and attention today, and have a good night's sleep. That's the...
Thank you so much, Deeksha, for that wonderful presentation. Let's see if there is any questions. If anyone's got any questions, please put them in the chat, and I'll ask Deeksha to answer those. No questions so far.
See, I think we all have a lot of questions, but sometimes it's okay. I mean, we all are on the same boat. So I'll share my personal experience if because we have a little bit of time. So I had very difficult time when I was not able to sleep. From where this all is coming from my own lived experience. I had insomnia for at least 8 years. And I was really all night. I used to sit up till the morning. That was the stage I reached, and there was no way to fix that. But music helped me. Music slowly, because I was actually very addicted to music also. So I realized one of the articles I read, and I understood how you should have calming music in the night and how you can actually train your brain. So after that, I started training my brain. I have put a lot of effort in actually training my brain to sleep, to meditate, to write, to create. When to cook, even while I cook, I put some music. So it's like your brain gets hooked to that activity, whatever you have trained. So that has helped me. I mean, and no conversation after 8 p.m. That's the another theory I have at my home. No financial conversations, no troublesome, no work-related conversations, because that triggers your brain. You're not able to sleep. You actually get into active mode, and then it becomes a difficult stage. So those are the things which I experienced, and I thought it will help. And definitely limiting caffeine, all those things are definitely there. We all know that limiting caffeine is important before 2 hours before sleep. So no tea after 6:30. If you can make that as a slogan, that will help you definitely. It will calm your nerves and will put you to sleep easily.
Deeksha, I've got a question, again, very much based on my experience. So I have, from a very young age, I've been sleeping about 4 or 5 hours every night, weekend included. And this has more or less become a normal habit. Now, I know that the guidelines are you sleep about 7, 8, 9 hours every day. But what do you make of that? So if my body is now saying, okay, 4 to 5 hours is fine for me, do you think that's acceptable?
Yes, that is purely acceptable. If you are having all 4 stages, then it is acceptable. So how do you know that you have all 4 stages? When you wake up, you feel refreshed. When you wake up, you don't have hang-ups, you don't have a lot of anxiety or last night's anything is processing in your head. Then you know that you have slept well, and this much sleep is enough. Like you said, 4 to 5 hours. And trust me, I need at least 8 hours. At least 8 hours. I sometimes sleep more than that, because I feel that is what is needed for my body. I mean, that's how it is different for everybody. And science has proven that optimally it is 7 to 8 hours. But otherwise as well, if you feel refreshed, if you feel that you don't have any trouble, your day activities are not disturbed, and you're not forcing yourself to sleep less, then it is perfectly fine.
Okay, so the message is really 7, 8, 9 hours is a guideline, but everyone's different, and whatever works for you, as long as you are not cranky the following day.
Correct. As long as you're not cranky, because your body will become very emotional. You will become very emotional. Your reactions will be very emotional, and you will know that if it is becoming emotional, then you know that you're not sleeping well. That's the trigger point for your mental health as well. If you're not sleeping well, you'll be emotional. Your reactions will not be regulated well. So that is another thing. And we do have this social jet lag habit that we do not sleep during the weekdays. We work very, very hard. And then during weekends, we oversleep. And we think that we have compensated for that. So although it looks compensation, you might feel refreshed. You might feel, wow, I slept 2 days long, or at least 1 day long. And then I'm ready for Monday to Friday. But from biological point of view, it does not help. It does not help. You need to sleep every day, because sleep does not work in credit and debt manner. If you don't sleep during the whole week, then you have health repercussions, which will happen even if you sleep in the weekends. So it does not matter like that. You have 8 hours sleep one day and 10 hours sleep other day and 5 hours sleep one day. That's not helpful.
So it's got to be consistent. That's kind of the answer, is it?
It has to be consistent, and the best way to get that in place is if you can't manage your sleep times, because we all have different kinds of work, we can manage the time we wake up. So if you fix your waking up time, your sleeping time will fall in place. So cycle actually works from morning to evening. It does not work from evening to morning. It works from morning to evening. So if you wake up at one time every day, 6:30, 7 o'clock, whatever time you have fixed, you fix it, and 15-20 minutes is okay, but do not make it a habit of shifting it too much. Then your body will on its own understand and then go to sleep in the night. And one thing very beautiful happens. One of the tips, I mean, if I have to give just one tip, how to fix your cycle is as soon as you wake up, 15 minutes, within 15 minutes window, just go out in the sun. Just expose yourself to light. When you expose yourself to light, your cycle falls in place on its own. Then body knows, okay, this is the time for wake up. Now what all I have to do? So best is, instead of heading to your coffee or tea, best is to head to your balcony and just stand there for some time and just soak into that light, what is available for you. And that will help you put your cycle in place.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. I've got a question over here from one of the persons who's joined. The question is, can you talk about daytime sleep stroke nap? They help.
Daytime sleep, you're asking?
Yeah, so probably a siesta, maybe having lunch and then going to sleep. I don't know. Yeah.
Yes, so many people have this habit of sleeping in the afternoon. So that has been related with the dopamine release. So when you sleep in the afternoon, you feel, many people are like that. They feel refreshed. And I'm talking about 15-20 minutes of nap. It's not like hours of sleep, because if you go in hours of sleep, your digestive system, just after food, you went to sleep, your digestive system slows down. It will not digest your food, and you will have difficulty when you wake up. You will have gastric problems and other things. So it is recommended to have a nap, 10-15 minutes nap. Einstein used to do that. He used to keep a bowl in his hand and a metal below that. So when he used to, he was fond of afternoon nap. So he used to just put this ball in his hand, go to REM state, that deep sleep. That is when the ball will go from his hand and he wakes up. So he used to get a lot of insights during that time. And it's like a short, quick way of rebooting your body as well. So that's the best thing to do. If at all we want to do that. Others don't have that privilege to sleep in the daytime. They're working. But those who have privilege can utilize it for the best, like 15-20 minutes, not more than that, not an hour kind of, because then you go in that sleep pattern. Then you will be stuck, and then your digestion will go for a toss. That's not good.
Also, I think the other thing that happens, certainly, I think that's what. So if you have a longer nap at lunchtime, your sleeping pattern at night will be disturbed as well.
Correct. Absolutely. That will definitely happen. But some people manage that also. Some people sleep well in the night as well, after afternoon nap as well. But otherwise, yes, it does put you, then you have that 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock kind of sleep. Then you are delaying the whole process itself.
Okay. Another question I have, what are your thoughts on sleep medications and its effects?
Yeah, sleep medications. See, if you have any health issue and that demands you to sleep, maybe mental health, and doctor has recommended something, you can take that. But otherwise, you should not, because more you become habitual to those, more difficulty you will have in falling back into your normal pattern. The problem with sleep medications are mostly that they do not take you to 3 and 4 stages. So these are shallow sleeps, and it will not help you in any ways. Only thing is, because your body needs rest, and that is where you actually go ahead and take these medications. So that is okay. Okay, only under medical guidance and as long as needed. And I would suggest, I told you 8 years I had insomnia. I never took any medicine. I actually thought of finding out ways to help myself through music, through other things, through reducing all trigger points. So if you can do that, then that's the best thing.
I think it's so important what you mentioned, that it's got to be under medical guidance.
Yes.
So whoever wants to take these sleeping tablets or whatever, they need to seek medical guidance and make sure that that's the right thing for them.
Only if it is needed.
Yes.
Otherwise, avoid that, because what it is doing, it is going and actually it's just connecting your nerves, right? So that you sleep. All that is triggering you, all that is creating overwhelming experiences. It just disconnecting all those nerves. And because of that disconnection, you will have problems with your memory, with your other things as well. So your mental health will not improve too much. And we know that. We know people who have been on medication and there's not much improvement in them. Only thing is that, yeah, for some time, if that is crucial, they should take it. Otherwise, avoid it. If you can manage without it, that's the best thing to do.
Got another question over here. Even if somebody goes to bed by 10 p.m., why is it that they have to wake up, or they are forced to wake up between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m.?
We saw that. We saw in our that slide where we saw that the melatonin secretion, if you have a good, because you are sleeping at 10, that means your cycle is good. So your melatonin secretion already started 2 hours before. 8 o'clock it started. So it will come down. There's a peak and then it comes down, tapers down. So when it tapers down, then your body temperature increases. And that is when you wake up. So almost all of us wake up around that time. We go to restroom and come back and again sleep. Some of us wake up and do meditation and do other things. They start their day. So 6 hours is actually good. When you slept 10 to 4, it's a good sleep actually. But if you want to sleep, you can go back. But you wake up because of your body temperature. It rises during that time. The wake cycle kicks in, basically. That's why you wake up.
Okay. Is there a specific time to meditate?
Okay, so meditation is always better to be done before sunrise or after sunset. There is an astrological aspect to it. If you want, I can go into that. Otherwise, we can skip that. But otherwise, it is always better to meditate during when sun is not around. Spiritual answer to this is there is a spiritual sun, Sirius. I have that is where I heavily urge all of us to actually head to our website. You'll find a lot of answers there. So with spiritual sun, when you meditate, your energies are very, very high. What is spiritual sun? That can be found there. And why we should not meditate during daytime? Because astrologically, when we meditate during daytime, our sun goes to 12th house, and 12th house is a house of of renunciation of everything. So those people who meditate during daytime, many a times face challenges in their life. Their jobs suffer, financially they suffer, and then they say, I am meditating, still see a lot of losses. I don't want to meditate. There is an astrological reason to that, why you should not meditate during day. Otherwise, it is okay. If that is not your, you don't believe in all those things, then there's no problem. I mean, there's no problem in meditating any time of the day, but it is preferred to be done after or before sunset. Evenings are also good. You can meditate in the evening. That is even good because that will help and assist you for the sleep cycle as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Next question I have is deep sleep without dreams an acceptable situation?
We actually dream. We don't remember those dreams. That's a different thing. That is related to the brain waves, which as soon as we wake up, lot of brain waves reduce. So we don't remember all that happened during sleep. We don't remember. There's a lot more happens. Actually, this was just the science part of it. There is more spiritual activities which happen when we sleep. So there is a lot, and there are studies which says that we have out of body experiences during sleep. And these are proven studies where they say that people do leave their body during sleep, but we are not going into that detail. What I'm trying to put forward here is that you might not remember, but there are chances that almost every night you are dreaming. Some are vivid, which you remember, some are not, which you don't remember. And some have, some later you remember. Suddenly during the day, somebody will say, and you'll be like, oh, I saw this in the dream. Or this is what I saw in the dream. Something will correlate, and then you will remember that. So you might not consciously remember. That's the thing. But REM sleep, if you are getting, then you will know. That's the beauty of your body. You know, your body will tell you that you're sleeping well. You will have better vitality. You will have better energy. You will be more peaceful during the day.
Actually, Deeksha, I've got a question. So some of these dreams, yes, you are saying you don't remember, but some become pretty clear, and you remember in the morning, this is what you dreamt. Is there any? I know people do analysis of the dreams, right? And well, what are your thoughts on that? You know, analyzing the dreams and kind of using that as a way forward into. What are your thoughts?
There is a whole study of dream work, so where people do analyze dreams, and as much as to extend that they do past life analysis as well through dreams. So they interpret these dreams in certain ways, and through that you can know your past lives as well. So your relationship with your present people is actually bound with your past life experiences, and that is how people help you. So it's a whole science, whole stream where people are actually working deeply. Sabine Lucas is one of the authors which I have read extensively. She has been working a lot on dream explanations, like how to interpret those dreams, and especially through the past life perspective. She has been working on a past life perspective. But otherwise as well, lot of insights are released in your sleep. So many people recommend that you should keep a notebook near your bed. And as soon as you get some insight, you can train your brain. You can tell your brain that when I get insight, I need to write it. So you wake up in the dream and you take a note of that and you go to sleep. Without processing that, you just write and go to sleep. And that is how many people have been getting a lot of spiritual insights, lot of solution to their existing problems in their life in the sleep and the dream states. So yes, there is a study of that.
Wow.
And
okay.
Evidence.
Great. The author you just mentioned on
Dr. Sabine Lucas. Dr. Sabine Lucas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking, can you recommend any books on sleep issues, sleep hygiene, meditation timing? I guess anything on sleep. Do you have any books that you can recommend?
I would suggest Om Swami. So his books are very good on especially mindfulness and meditation. So it's one way or the other, right? If you fix your one thing, other thing will fall in place. So instead of reading books for sleep, you read books for mindfulness, you read books for meditation. That will help you soothe enough, because your experiences are such a way, triggers are such a way that they are not allowing you to sleep. So if you train yourself in certain ways so that you can sleep well, while in the daytime, if you are calm, then you can sleep well. We know that either of the two we can hold, and we can fix it. So you can actually read books on from Om Swami. I would recommend, very simple and detailed as well, those books.
Okay. We've also got Charu has mentioned there's a book called Why We Sleep, and I think that's a recommended book by Charu. Thank you, Charu. Any other questions? Let me just say, I don't think there's any other questions anymore. Had a really good discussion, and I don't think there's any other questions at the moment. So I think we may want to just end this session over here. Okay, so sorry, just one last question, and it's an interesting question. I think probably everyone goes through this. Your view on jet lag.
Yeah, so jet lag definitely is unavoidable. We do travel a lot, and so best way is you are aware that you will have jet lag, right? If you are traveling between timelines, so time zones, so you will have jet lag. What you have to do is you have to train your body before, you have to prepare your body before you are boarding the flight. You know that your usual cycle is this to this, and that is how you should keep it up. So if you are awake during your usual times, and you're sleeping at your usual times, when you reach the other side as well, if you maintain their usual times, it helps. That is the simplest method, but it does not help many a times, because we do feel sleepy. And it goes off. The actually cycle goes off. So that is the time when you should use your music and aromatherapy as your handy tools. You can actually put on those musics. That is where training early is always better. So when you're prepared earlier, so you can actually use that during the jet lag as well. So you sleep, do not, I mean, all those we know that do not sleep during the daytime wherever you have landed, if it is daytime there. So if you stay awake, you know that your body will go to the cycle. It will fix the body clock if you don't sleep in the daytime there, wherever you have reached. But if you tend to give in to that tiredness, and you actually sleep, that's when the cycle goes off. That is when you have jet lag. Otherwise, most people who don't sleep after reaching the destination, they don't face too much of jet lag issues. And if you have, then you have music handy with you.
Yeah, you're so right. I mean, music can become a therapy for almost anything, isn't it?
Anything. You can train your brain. So you can train your brain with music for everything, I would say. And that's the best thing I really feel. And that is why there are people, I have not heard in this conversation about tinnitus. There are people, because of listening to a lot of music, because of having a lot of trauma, or maybe age-related issues, people develop tinnitus, which is like tee sound in your ear, and you have heavy difficulty in sleeping. That really leads to mental health issues. Lot of depressions, lot of suicidal thoughts also come in tinnitus. So then also music is recommended to mask that sound, what is coming. That is the beauty of music. Okay, music can be used as a therapy for tinnitus as well, where you have constantly there's a sound in your head, and which is very damaging. I experienced that also. Tinnitus also I experienced. So
Wow.
that's very damaging. But I trained my brain in certain ways that now it does not disturb me anymore. It's only about training. So you have to take charge on it. That's all I would say, and fix it. You should not leave it, and do not become victim of situation for anything. Whether it is lack of sleep or any mental health issue, you should take charge, and we can shift it. Our body is very intelligent. If you take charge, it will heal itself on its own.
Perfect. That's such a great piece of advice as the final point. I think take charge of the situation, take charge of the body, and yeah, last few words, and I think that's probably one of the best things. Yes, definitely. A wonderful, wonderful presentation, Deeksha. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed the talk, and so many questions have been answered as well on sleep. So thank you once again, and keep up with the good work as the Global Mental Health Ambassador. You've done so much work around that. And I know last year you did quite a lot of work with GMHA as well. So keep up with that. And thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.